In this video, we will learn about Python strings with examples. We'll be covering what is a string, how we can easily create it in Python. With that, we'll also focus on what are string literals, how we can slice, concatenate strings, how we can work around negative indexing. With that, we'll also focus on built-in functions in string. Let's begin. So what is a string? String is basically a sequence of characters. Okay, in Python, creating a string is really easy. It's not like Java. In Java, you need to use the character array or you need to use the string class, but in Python, you just need to write like this and assign it to a variable. This will create your string in Python. Okay, we have added double quotes to it, but remember that in Python, single quotes are similar to double quotes. We also use triple quotes, but in case we need to create a multi-line string. We will see all these with an example. Let's first learn how to create a string. Okay, here and you can see we can easily create a string like this. Let us see an example. So here is our PyCharm ID. Let us create a new project, file, new project. I'll name it to Python strings, and when I'll click on create, it will create our project. Here it is. Let us create a new file, demo. I'll press enter and it will create demo.py. Here it is. Now we will directly create a string. Okay, I'll use str. I'll add double quotes and I'll just add my name is Amit. That's it. String. This is how we create a string. I'll just print str. That's it. Right click and run demo. Here and you can see we printed our first string easily. Okay. Now we will work around other string topics like string literals, slicing, negative indexing, accessing a character in Python strings, and then how to concatenate strings. Let's begin. At first we will again create new file, demo2, press enter, and we have created it. In the same way, I'll create more files also because we'll be considering more than 20 examples now. I'll quickly create it. Here it is. Let us create string literals. So now I'll focus on string literals. Literals are enclosed in single, double quotes and even triple quotes. We will see the example now. Let me create string 1. So I added single quotes. Now I'll create string 2. I'll add double quotes. Both are same, no error will come. And the last, I'll add multi-line string. How? By adding 3 quotes. My name is Amit. And I live in Delhi. Okay. I'll press enter for multi-line. Here it is. Okay, so there shouldn't be any error now. I'll just print it. That's it. Now when I'll right click, it will also save and run it. When I'll right click and click on run demo, it will also save it and run it. Let's see. Here you can see single quotes it printed for double quotes it printed, and for multi-line string it printed on the next line. Okay, so now let us focus on how we can access substrings using slicing. My name is Amit. I printed in similar way. Now I'll just get the values. Okay, now I'll only fetch my name from here. Okay, that means slicing to access substring. We will just use the square brackets. That's it. Now from 11 to 15 it will print, that is my name. Now let's see, I'll right click and run it. Here and you can see it printed my name. In this way you can also use slicing to access substrings. You just need to use the colon and add the start index. This is the start index and this is the end index. Now let us focus on negative indexing to access substrings. Here it is, demo 4. So negative indexing means if you want to begin slicing from the end of the string, this will help you. Let us create a string. Okay, so let's say you need to get the last substring. For that, I'll just use negative indexing. I hope you know, we saw in the previous example. So herein I'll just use negative indexing. You can see -4 to -2. This is the start index and this is the end index. So from the backwards it will check, that is -4 will begin from here and -2 will end here. That means it will display TE. Right click and run it. It displayed TE. In the same way, if I'll just use another example, -6 I'll add, it will start from -5 -6. Okay, from here till here. Right click and run it. Look, OTE, I told you from here till here. Okay. In the same way, you can also work around negative indexing. Now we will see how we can access a character in Python strings. Let us write a string again. My name is Amit. Now I just need to fetch a character from it. Okay, I just need to mention the index in square bracket. That's it. So let's say I'll just print str index 5 and let's see what will get printed. M. It printed M only. Okay, now I'll just mention 12 and what it will print, the 12th index. You can check. Okay, it printed the 12th index, that is M from here, only M. In this way you can easily access a character in Python strings. Now we will focus on how to concatenate a string in Python. To concatenate we use the plus operator, that's it, nothing else. So here we have two strings, money and heist. We will concatenate them. A new variable for the result. Use the plus operator I told you. RES. So the result will be money heist. Here it is. We concatenated it simply. Now guys, we are done with these topics. Okay, concatenate strings, that is string literal, slicing, indexing and concatenation. Now let us work around the built-in string methods. These are around 40 methods. We will see them quickly. Let's begin. So the capitalize method is used to capitalize, that is uppercase, the first letter of a sentence. Okay, how? We will see an example. Okay, I added this. Now I'll just capitalize using string.capitalize method. That's it. Right click and run demo. I missed the parenthesis. Okay, right click and run demo. Here it is. My name is Amit. The first character is in uppercase now, the first letter of sentence. Okay, so this is how we can work with the capitalize method. Now moving further, casefold method. If you want to convert a string into lowercase, you can use the casefold method. Okay, so let's begin. I'll use the same example. So herein some of the letters are in capital. I'll just let's say, yeah, this is a mix of what we want. So just print the lowercase form of all these characters in a string using the casefold method. That's it. Right click and what should be visible? On running, my name is Amit. That means we have converted each and every character of a string to lowercase. Now let's move further to the center method. Center method in Python. This is basically used to align a string centrally. With that, under this method we need to add the length, that is the width of the entire string, as well as the character we need to insert on the left and right to fill. We will see an example now. Okay, so let's say we have a string here, demo. That's it. Now I'll set the center method. Okay, what will I do? Firstly, I'll add the width, that is the length of the string. It's only having 4 characters. Let's say I'll add 10 here. Okay, and when it will have 10 characters, there will be some space left on the left and on the right, that is 3 on the left and 3 on the right. Okay, so what will get filled there? I'll add any character there. Let's say I added hash there. Now what will be the result? Right click, run demo. Here it is. Our character was only 4, but we added 10 here. So on the left, for the remaining part, hash will get printed. Let's say I went for 20, right click and run. You can see the total width is now, the total length of the string is 20. But since we were having only 4 characters, okay, rest of them got filled with the following hash. We can also convert it to dollar. Right click and run demo. You can see. So in this way you can work around the center method in Python. Let's move further. The count method, as the name suggests, it is used to search for a specific value and its count of appearance in the string. Okay. Let's say we have the following string. Okay, so here in demo is repeating twice. So we'll count it. How? Using the count method. I'll just use the count method. What I want to search, I'll just add here. I want to search the appearance of this in the entire string. We can also search demo because it is also appearing twice. I'll first search this, right click and run demo. Now let's see what will happen. 2 times it is appearing. Now let's say we had demo here twice. I'll just add demo again and I'll search demo, and what will happen? It should be 3, right? It appeared 3 times. You can also set the start and beginning position, that is the position to start the search and end. Okay, for that just use the parenthesis here, and let's say I want to search from index 7 to index 25. I'll just run it and let's see what is the output. Only one demo is appearing from 7 to 25 indexes. Okay, if I'll remove this, it will search the entire string. So guys, in this way you can work around the count method. Now let us focus on the find method. The find method is used to search for the occurrence of a specific letter in a string. So we'll see an example. Let's add a string here. This is first text. Okay, now I'll search for text in the entire string, and it will give me the result that at what position we found this text. str.find and just mention the text, that is, in this case it is a text only, the word. Right click and run demo and it will display 14. That means on the 14th index we found the text word here. You can also set the beginning and end, that is where to start the search and where to end the search. Okay, for that I'll add the start of search to 20 and end of search to 40. The 20 is the start of search and 40 is the end, but we just need to update this as well. Here it is. I'll right click and run. Now let's see what will happen. 35. So between 20 to 40 index, it has shown that our text begins at 35 index. Okay, so it returned the position. Now let us focus on another example for ends with. So the ends with method is used to check for a string. If the string ends with a specific value, true is returned, else false is returned. Let's see. I'll first create a string. Okay, so this is the string. Now I'll search for a string text2, that this entire string ends with the word text2 or not. Yes, it ends, so true will be returned. True is returned. In the same way, you can also add the start and end position where the search starts and where the search ends. So let's begin. Herein I'll add the same. Let's say I added 7, I added 15 here. Now it will check whether the string ends with a specific value from position 7 to 15 or not. Right click and run it. False. Why? Because our text2 is after the 15 position. So under 7 to 15, it failed in finding the text2 word. Therefore, it returned false. Let's say I added 40. Within 7 to 40, we are able to find text2 in the end. Therefore, it returned true. Now we will move further to work around the expand tabs method. Okay, the expand tabs method is used to set the tab size, as the name suggests. The default tab size is 8. If you want to set a different tab size, we use the expand tabs method. Let's see. So herein I'll create a string with some tabs. Okay, so I added demo here. Within that I'll add some tabs, let's say after every word. Okay, now this looks fine. There won't be any error. Just print it. I'll just print it str, that's it. Let's see. Demo. Okay, now I'll use expand tabs here. Now we will see the difference. Right click and demo 13. Herein you can see now we have this 8 tab size after every word because we added /t, that is tab. Now we need to, let's say, set the tab size to 2 from 8. How we can do that? I'll just set 2 here, nothing else. Right click and demo, you can see the size is now 2. What if I want to set 4 here? I'll do the same, 4, and right click. Okay, now we will focus on Python index method. So the index method is used to find the index of the first occurrence of a specific value. Let's say we have a string. Within this, we will find the character I, that's it. So a lot of times I is appearing, we just want to know the index of the first occurrence of a specific value I. Okay, so I'll just mention it here and I'll right click and run demo. You can see 2, 0, 1, 2, that is on the second index we were able to find I. We can also add the beginning as well as the end index, that means where the search begins and where it ends. How we can do that? Let me use it again. Okay, so I added I here, but I want to search from a specific location. So I'll add the parameters. Let's say I added 3 and then I added 10. That means 3, it will begin the search from the third index until the 10th index. Right click and run. And herein you can see at 5th position it was able to find the first occurrence of a specific value, that is I. So in this way we can work around the Python index method. Now let us move further with our 15th example. Here we have the isNum method in Python, which returns true if all the characters in the string are alphanumeric, else false is returned. So let me take a string. I'll keep it the name James Bond and I'll just check whether it's alphanumeric or not using the isNum method. Here it is and I'll just run it. True. So it is alphanumeric, that means it includes your alphabets as well as numbers. Okay, so in this way you can work around the isNum method. Now let's work around isAlpha. The isAlpha method returns true if all the characters in the string are alphabet. Okay, so let me add a name. So herein I'll add a name. Okay, now I'll check whether the entire string is, if all the characters in the string are alphabet or not. For that I'll just use str.isAlpha, that's it, and right click. True should be returned. Here it is, true. Why? Because Tom Cruise, it is only having alphabet, that's it. Moving further, the next one we are focusing on is decimal. Okay, the decimal method returns true if all the characters in the string are decimal. I'll add a string with decimal values. Okay, let's say 37. Now I'll just print it using the isDecimal method to check whether this is decimal or not. Right click, true, you can see it is a decimal, so true is returned. Now I'll check for isDigit method. Okay, let me take a string. I'll create a string. Okay, now I'll just check whether it's digit or not. It's digit, so true is returned. So true will be returned. str.isDigit. Okay, I'll run it and it should show true. Here it is true. Now let us focus on isIdentifier method. The isIdentifier method returns true if the string is an identifier, else false is returned. Now what is an identifier? A valid identifier includes A to Z, 0 to 9 or underscore. And remember, it won't begin with a number. It won't even include spaces. So let's see an example. Firstly, I'll create a string. Let's say I added this, so it is not beginning with a number. It's fine. Now let us check it for identifier. Here it is. Whether it's an identifier or not, right click and run it. True. It is an identifier. Now we will focus on isLower method. As the name suggests, it returns true if all the characters in the string are lowercase. Okay, so str is equal to my name is Amit. All are lowercase. We will just check it. Okay, I right click and run it, and you can see true is returned. That means all these characters are in lowercase only. Let's move further. Now we will focus on isNumeric. As the name suggests, isNumeric method returns true if all the characters in the string are numeric. Okay, so I'll take a string with numbers. I'll just check it using str dot isNumeric method. That's it. It should show true. Why? Because we have numbers in it. Now is printable method in Python. Okay, this method returns true if all the characters in the string are alphabet. Str is equal to, let's say, Sylvester. I'll just check it again and print it directly using is printable method. Now on right click, it should return true. True is returned. That means all the characters in the string are alphabets. Moving further, now comes is space. Let me create a string with a space. That means this method returns true if all the characters in the string are white spaces. Okay, now I'll just print it and display, and we'll check for whether it will return true or not using the isSpace method. It should return true because we have spaces in it, nothing else. White space. Now we'll work around isTitle method. The isTitle method returns true if all the string considers the rules of a title, that is an uppercase title, else false is returned. So the title should be in uppercase. That means the title means the first letter of the word should be in uppercase. Okay, so here it is. The name is Amit. The first letter, the title is uppercase. That means it should return true. So I'll directly print it. Okay. Now right click should return true. Here it is. We returned true successfully. If it will be like this, it will return false. Right click and run. False. So I'll just change it to again. The title is in caps, so no error. Moving further. isUpper. So the isUpper method, as the name suggests, returns true if all the characters in the string are uppercase. Okay, so let me add a string. I added it. Okay, now I'll just check it using the string.isUpper method. It returned true because all the characters are in uppercase. If I'll change one of them to lower, it will show false. Okay, so let me keep it as it is, and it returned true. Moving further. Okay, now we'll focus on the join method in Python. So the join method in Python is used to join the iterable elements to the end of the string. Containers such as tuple, string, dictionary, etc. are iterables in Python. Okay, so herein we will create a string iterable with Python join for our example. Let me add some values. We have also used separator here. That means all these four will be joined using the join method, but under separator $$ will get added. Let's see, I'll just print it now, but I'll use the join method. Herein we have used the separator dot join method, and within that we have added the string. Okay, we forgot the quotes. Right click and run. You can see we have joined them. Okay, but the separator here is $$. So we have joined the iterable elements to the end of the string. Now let's focus on lower method. The lower method in Python is used to convert the uppercase letters in the string to lowercase. So let's say we have the following string. So we will convert all these uppercase letters to lowercase using the lower method. Right click and run it. You can see we have converted it to lowercase completely using the lower method. Now let us focus on the else strip method. The else strip method is used to remove characters from the left of the string. The default is whitespace. So let's see an example to understand. We have a string. Okay, on the left it is having some characters, let's say. Okay, now we need to remove these characters from the left of the string. We will use the else strip method. str.elsestrip, that's it, and add the character you want to remove. Right click and run it. You can see we have removed the hash from the string successfully using the else strip method. Now let us focus on the replace method. Okay, the replace method is used to replace a value with another. We just need to add the old value to be searched in the replace method with the value to be replaced, and we can also set the count to count how many occurrences of the old value is to be replaced. Let us see an example. We have a string, let's say. So herein we will search for the value demo, so the first parameter. Then we will replace it with text, and how many times? 2 occurrences of demo is to be replaced with text. So we added 2. Right click and run. Here is our output. This is demo, this is another demo. Demo replaced with text. Okay, in this way you can work with the replace method. If let's say we have another string, let's say we had this and we need to convert this example to demo. We could have easily done it using this demo. Since only one time it is occurring, we don't need to add the third parameter. So it will change it to, it will replace to this is our demo. This is fine now. This will replace to this is our demo for the second example. Okay. Now we will focus on the rfind method. We will focus on the rfind method in Python. Okay, the rfind method is used to find the last occurrence of a value from a string. Okay, so let's understand this using an example. We have a string here. This is demo. This is another demo. Okay, now we will use the rfind method. Okay, to find the last occurrence of a value from a string. So we'll be finding the last occurrence of demo. How? Just add the parameter here. Demo, we want to search for demo, the last occurrence, so we will add it. You can see it returned the position wherein we can find the last occurrence of a specific word which is repeating. That is demo here. Let us see another example. Okay, so we will find the same demo, but we will just increase the occurrence and we will see it to understand the concept in a better way, clear way. Run and you can see str2, this is fine now. It was returning the previous one, right click demo. Okay, so 48 position, the demo, the last demo is placed. Okay, this is how you can work around rfind method. Now let us focus on the rindex method. The rIndex method is used to get the index of the last occurrence of a specific value. rIndex is similar to rFind. So let's say we have a string here. This is test. This is another test. Mention rIndex. So we want to get the index of the last occurrence of a specific value. Test is repeating twice, so we will check for test only. Mention test. It will check the occurrence of test, the last occurrence of test, the index of it. Okay, right click and run. Here it is 30. Now we can also work around some other example. Let's say we have more occurrences of this. Let's say I'll add another test. With that I'll again add yet another test. Okay, so now I'll right click and let's see what will happen. 44. Okay, it is test. I'll right click and run. You can see 63rd. The position is 63 for the occurrence of the last test. That is, we added test here, so we search for test, the last occurrence of test. Moving further, rjust. The rjust method is used to right align the string and fill characters to the left. Okay, so let's say we have a string method. Okay, now I'll use the rjust method to place characters on the left. So let's say I placed a. Okay, but we need to also set the total length of the string. Let's say I will set it to 25. Since the string is only for 16 characters, the rest of the space will get filled with a. Right click and run. Here you can see on the left, the rest of the space got filled. In this way you can work around the rjust method. Now let us focus on the rsplit method. The rsplit method is used to split a string beginning from the right. So through this a list is returned. Let's say we have a string here. This is the string. Now we will use the rsplit method to split our string. Okay, at first we need to set the separator wherein the split will occur. So this separator is used while splitting, and then we will use a split. Split will be the number of splits to be performed. Here in a split is comma. Okay, then we are splitting into 2, that is the number of splits are 2. Okay, I'll run it and let's see what will happen. Okay, so this is the result. This was our string and the following is our list returned. So this list is now having 2 elements. The first one is the following. Okay, we have split it into 2. The first is the following and the second is the following. So we have 2 elements now in the list. Okay, because we have used 2 here for split, and comma is our separator. In the same way you can work around the rsplit method. Now let us work around the rstrip method. The rstrip method is used to remove characters from the right of a string. Okay, so let's say we have a string and we have some characters here and we need to remove it. We can easily do it using the rstrip method. Okay, here and just add the character we want to remove. Hash we want to remove, so many. Right click and run. Okay, so we mistyped it. It's fine now. Right click, change the things. Okay, now we can use another example to remove the white spaces using the same method. How? Let's say in this place we have added white spaces, and for white spaces leave this blank because the defaulted white space. Right click, run. Here and you can see we use the rstrip method and we have removed the white space as well. Here is the output without the white space. Okay, now let's move further and we will work around the split method. So let's say we have the following string. Okay, we need to use a split method. We will return 2 elements after the split because we are splitting one time, since we will set it to 1 here. Okay, so herein we have added the separator $. The split will be performed here. Okay, the number of splits we have set here as the second parameter is 1. So only one split will be performed. That means the result will be 2. Now let us run it. Herein you can see one split is performed and the entire string is converted to list. Okay, we have 2 now. That is, the split method is used to split a string into a list. We have set a separator also, as well as the number of splits also here. So we split it only one time. This is how you can use the split method. Now let us focus on split lines method. The split lines method is used to split a string into a list. Okay, we can also set option to allow line breaks. It's up to us, we want to allow it or not. Let us create a string. We have added values to the string, but we will add line breaks here after every word in a string /n. Okay, now we will use the split lines method and we will set it to true. That means we are allowing line breaks. True means we have allowed it. I'll right click and run. You can see we allowed it, so therefore following is visible. If I'll set it to false, okay, now the line break is not visible. In this way we can split a string. Now a list is visible. We will now focus on the Startswith method. The Startswith method returns true if string begins with a particular value, else false is returned. So let us understand this with an example. So this is our string. Let us search the string other. Okay, we can also set the begin and end value, that is the position where the search begins and end where the search ends. Okay, so we can set it here. Let's say search begins from 15 and ends at 20. When I'll right click and run, it will show false because the word other is not visible here. Okay, in the same way we can see another example. The same string, we will search for Anne. Anne is here. Okay, so let's say it will take it or not. We will add the positions from 22 to 30. We are searching, right click and run. Okay, string 2, we have created a new string, right click and run. And herein you can see we are able to find Anne between 22 to 30 position. Okay, in this way you can work around the starts with method. Let us now focus on the swap case method. We will now focus on the swap case method. The swap case method, as the name suggests, is used to swap the case. That is, convert lowercase to uppercase or uppercase to lowercase. The cases will get swapped. Let's see an example. We have the following string. Now let us switch the case. How? Using the swap case method. That's it. We need to work around. We need to just run it. You can see we have swapped the case. The lower case will convert to upper, the upper case will convert to lower. Now let us focus on the title method. Okay, it is used to convert the first letter of every word in uppercase. That means letter case. That is like a title or heading. So we'll see an example. Here it is. Let's run. Herein you can see the first letter of every word is converted to uppercase. That means like a title, a heading. We'll focus on the upper method now. Here is our example. Okay, so we'll use the upper method and let's see what will happen. It will convert the lowercase letters in the string to uppercase. So the following are the lower cases. Okay, so it will convert it to uppercase, the complete string. Here it is. You can see we have converted it to uppercase. Now we have the zfill method. What will happen in this? The zfill method is used to fill zeros in the beginning of the string. We can also set a parameter length in this. That will be the total length of the string including the zero fill. Let us understand this with an example. Let's say we have the following string, and within the print method we will be displaying the usage of our zfill method. Here it is. Under parameter we will set the length. What is this length? This length is the total length of the string including the zero fill. The string is of 4 characters, but we have mentioned the length as 7. The remaining 3 characters will include 0 in the beginning. This is the usage of zfill. Right click and run, and you can see we have 3 zeros here because the total length of the string is now 7 since we added 7 as a parameter. So through this you can easily work with the zfill method. We can also add decimal. Let's see, I have another example. Okay, herein I'll add something else. Decimal value. Now zfill, let's say I'll set it to 15. Now let's see what will happen. Herein you can see on the left, for the remaining length it has added zeros here, that is zero fill. Okay, now let us focus on the following, that is strip method. Strip method in Python. Strip method is used to remove spaces from the beginning and end of a string. Okay, let us understand this with an example. Let's say we have a string with so many spaces in the beginning and at the end. We need to strip it. For that, use the strip method. Let us print it. Okay, str.strip. Now let's see what will happen. It will strip the white spaces. That's it. So guys, in this video we saw how we can work with strings in Python. We saw a lot of examples to understand how to create a string, how to access values, how to slice a string. With that, we also worked around 40 built-in string methods. So guys, thank you for watching the video.